Again, G47 has shown his power on Euclidia, the magic island of the South Seas. When Jerry Hall started off the homing pigeon to Johnson on the rescue boat, things looked very bright. The pigeon was released at midnight, and at 8 in the morning, the Gregory party were sure that all was well, and that the pigeon had reached the other boat. As they were discussing their chances of escape in the soundproof cabin on the yacht, the mad scientist, G47, walked in with the pigeon in his hand. G47 has just left the cabin after telling them that the pigeon was stopped by gas in the ring of fog surrounding the island.
Well, I guess that's the end of it.
Oh, Mother, is there no hope at all?
Very little, my dear. You heard what G47 said. His assistants are working now on the formula they took from the leg of that pigeon. And when they've successfully compounded it, our lives will be worth nothing.
Golly whiskers, Tex. Tex? Hey, Tex, what are you thinking about?
How to get this pigeon or the other one through that ring of fog and gas that guards the island.
But can you do it in time to be of any help, Captain? G47 and his men will be working rapidly on that formula. And when they complete it, I think it will be too late to help us then.
Oh, Tex, isn't there something we can do?
I'm afraid not. There's no chance for these birds to fly through that gas ring. They'll never fail to use a gas ring as long as they have a chance of trying anything else.
Wait a minute, Tex. You act like you're not paying any attention to us at all. Quit worrying about getting a message through to Johnson. He can't get here in time to save us anyhow.
Jerry's right, Tex. What we've got to do is try some extreme measure. Something wild and foolish if there's nothing sensible and reasonable left to do. But we've got to do something about getting off this island before those Euclideans get that formula compounded.
No hurry about that, Pat. It will take them a long time to figure it out.
Do not be too sure, Captain Bradford. G47 and those other men can do as they wish with any formula that any living man could write for them.
Hurry up, Tex. Let's try to get off this crazy island.
Take a look outside the door, Jerry. I'm going to tell you something.
It's all right to talk in here now, Tex. No one can hear us with the cabin insulated with this opaque cloth.
Probably not, but take a look anyway, kid.
Okay, Tex. All clear out there. The skipper's at one end of the passage and the engineer at the other.
All right. I'll just let the pigeon rest here on the bunk.
That beautiful little bird is so frightened. If it's hurt, we should...
Not a bit. Just some harmless gas that caused him to flutter slowly to the floor of the island. He'll be all right after he gets over his fright.
I read in your pigeon book that it upsets him when something stops him from a flight they've started out on.
Sometimes it does, but this little fellow has had accidents before. He'll be all right soon. I'll hold him here, Tex. There now, Bosun. Feel better now? Now, Tex, the pigeon seems comfortable. Go ahead.
I suppose I should have told you before. I thought I'd save you a lot of worry if I did the worrying for all of us. I didn't want you to realize just how much I feared old G47 and how little faith I had in that pigeon getting through the fog ring.
Well, we know the worst now, Tex.
I was afraid, Captain, that your plan was too simple to succeed against the protection on this island.
Oh, you did swell, Tex. Nobody's going to blame you when old G47 works out that formula and comes to do whatever he's going to do with us.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, kid. I've had my mind on the pigeon and can't seem to stay on the subject. But you can quit worrying about the formula. The old G47 may be mad enough to kill us anyway when he discovers that he hasn't got it.
What do you mean, Tex? Did you put the formula in code?
These Euclideans can decipher any code nearly as fast as it can be read by one who understands it. They have a conversion table of all the possible combinations of figures, letters, and characters known to man. And they work out a code as accurately as you would use a slide rule.
Then when they read the code, we're sunk for sure.
But it wasn't code. What I had on that message to Johnson simply was not my formula.
Then they haven't the formula at all?
They must have some formula, or they wouldn't be working on it all this time.
They have a formula, all right. And no matter how clever they are, they're going to have some fun with it before they give up trying to compound my secret with it.
You gave them a formula which will make nothing, then?
No, I gave them a formula which I worked on for years. And I've worked with some of the greatest chemists in the world on it. The formula for making synthetic diamonds.
Giggle and goldfish. Then if they work it out, they'll have a diamond.
Something like one, Jerry, though the formula was never quite perfect, was it, Tex?
No. It works up to a certain point where a hard mass is precipitated. But before you can rescue this solid from the solution, it is promptly dissolved again.
That's a honey, Tex. It may fool them, too. But when they get this hard substance and then it dissolves, they'll think they got the real thing, the universal solvent.
Hush, Jerry, not so loud.
So that is your secret, Captain Bradford. The universal solvent. I've often heard G47 say you had the greatest formula in the world, and one that chemists have tried to get since chemistry began. Now I can understand why they wanted to bring you to this island.
Yes, Joan, dear. I was allowed to come here and find you so those scientists could get Captain Bradford in their power. Now all our lives will pay for it.
Hey there, Mrs. Gregory. Cut it out. We're not done yet by a long ways. Don't forget what G47 said. As long as they're trying to get Texas formula, we're safe.
Right, and before they get it, we may figure our way out.
Do you mind if I ask you a question about your formula, Captain Bradford?
Go right ahead, Joan, only don't talk too loud.
You have really found the formula for the universal solvent?
Yes.
You've actually used it to dissolve every element and combination of elements known to science?
Yes, Joan, I really have it.
What do you use as a container to keep it in?
I thought that was coming, Tex. Joan's got her head fastened on tight, all right.
Is your head loose, Jerry?
Now, don't you two start that again. Jerry is really paying you a very high compliment, Joan. He thinks it's clever of you to ask such a question.
To ask that is only natural, I think. For if you have something which will dissolve everything, how could you keep any of it? It would eat its way through any container.
You may think it's natural to ask that, Joan, with the training you've had here. But most people pass it up. Anyhow, I have the formula, and it will eat its way out of anything you put it in. And that very fact is a thing I think will save our lives and get us off this island.
But how?
No more now, Jerry. I hope we haven't talked too much about it as it is.
Here's where we get it for the trick we played on them.
C-47 will be very angry.
Can't help it now. Come in.
Oh, Skipper. What is it?
Pigeon,
Something happened to the other pigeon?
What's up, Skipper? Someone at the pigeon cote?
was,
Someone been there and done something to the pigeon?
Oh, Ted.
Steady, Pat. You three stay here. I'll take this other pigeon and go and see. Shove off, Skipper.
Now, what's up, I wonder?
Oh, I hope they haven't harmed the other one. I wouldn't mind their taking it away from us to keep us from using it, but I'd feel very badly if anything happened to them.
You are so sweet and kind, Mother. I think those are the words I want to use, but we know so little of those qualities on Euclidia that I do not even know how to speak of them.
You're doing all right, Joan. For a girl that didn't know anything when I landed here, you're getting so you talk pretty near as good as I do.
You mean I speak nearly as well as you, Jerry?
Oh, what's the use?
I'm afraid, Jerry, that Joan is rapidly learning our careless manner of address, and she's really right.
I want to speak as you do, Mother, and I want to go to your world and learn all about it.
Our chances of that aren't boiling over right now.
Oh, now, Jerry, you must not get in that frame of mind. You must keep happy and foolish to help the rest of us.
Yes, Jerry. Tex is inclined to look on the dark side of things, mostly to keep us from getting our hopes too high, I think. But we've learned to look to you for the bright side, so don't let us down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Only things happen too fast here for me sometimes. Now this pigeon thing. We had our hopes all worked up on getting a message to Johnson, and the pigeon comes back.
But they didn't get Captain Bradford's formula, Jerry, and that is something.
Yes, something. But what will G47 do because he was tricked?
He won't do anything till he gets Tex's real formula.
Jerry may be right, Mother. G47 and his assistants have a patience that is terrible. Their plans and formulas have been complete, their equipment ready for world conquest, and their supplies on hand for many months. Yet they have waited patiently for this chance to get Captain Bradford here with his formula.
But why did they have to make such an involved process of it? A simple message that you had been found living here would have brought us at any time.
I don't know about that, Mrs. Gregory. Remember how many times you have been fooled about Joan being found someplace, and how you even wondered about coming here.
I know the Euclideans wanted to be sure you left your home without any suspicion of what you would find, as they feared Captain Bradford might leave instructions behind him as to what to do if you did not return as you had planned. If these men fear anyone or anything in the world, it is Captain Bradford.
Gee, it's great to be that important.
But you, Jerry, you are also important.
Me? How come?
You have some very powerful radio apparatus in your home in Hollywood, you and your father. Is that not so?
Jerry, they must have heard you sending with your 1 1/2 meter set.
Oh, I don't think it would pick up here. It's just a homemade affair.
Oh, it was heard here. And it was heard to answer the call which brought you down here.
Jiminy Jim Cracks. Do you mean that when I heard that report about the old sailor and tried to get more information about it, that they really heard my QRF here?
Yes, Jerry. They heard you very plainly when you repeated the message G47 sent. And you said you would try to locate Mrs. Gregory, Mother, and get the message to her.
Now, Jerry, how does that feel? See how important you are?
Well, it's no surprise to me. I always had an idea I'd turn out to be a pretty important guy.
And you take it all so modestly, Jerry.
Oh, gee.
And your face is so red, Jerry. You look so funny.
Joan, dear. Joan, you laughed. That's the first time I ever heard you laugh.
We do not laugh on Euclidia. I never felt like that before. It's a nice feeling to laugh. Jerry, you must make me laugh some more. Will you please look foolish again so that I may laugh?
Oh, sure. Oh, no, I won't.
Well, I can't figure that one out. Here's the other pigeon, not hurt a bit. Skipper said one of G47's men came and took it out of the coat. Handled it very carefully and put it back.
What could that be for, Tex?
I don't know.
Oh, they just did something to it so it can't carry messages for us.
May I see the pigeon, Captain Bradford?
Certainly, Joan. Here you are.
Such a soft and warm little thing. He's rather nervous, I think. Let me see. Yes. So that is it. This pigeon could not leave the island now, Captain, through the fog ring.
Have they done something to it so the gas will affect it?
Wait a minute. Let me feel that pigeon. Yep. Remember when we got off the yacht the first time and we tried to walk? That magnetism held us still, even our hands.
What do you see, Jerry?
He feels it, Captain Bradford. Before you had time to leave the yacht, when you first landed, a magnetic paint had been put on the rail and deck of the yacht in the yellow darkness, so that you could not move when the current was turned on.
Then that is what's been done to this pigeon? I can't see it.
The paint is colorless and odorless, but it lasts for many hours, and this pigeon is now covered with it and could never get outside the magnetic circle. We have lost our only hope, Captain Bradford.
When Jerry released a homing pigeon with a message to Johnson on the rescue boat, it was stopped by gas in the fog ring surrounding the island. G47 is now working on the formula taken from the message. The formula he believes to be Captain Tex Bradford's universal solvent. The other pigeon has been covered with magnetic paint to make it impossible for him to fly through the fog around the island. It is daylight, and as there is no chance of planning anything further toward their escape or rescue until dark, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are working in the chart room of the yacht, while Joan takes Jerry on a tour of the Magic Island.
Now, Jerry, you must do just as I tell you and do not touch anything without permission.
This is going to be some sightseeing tour. Like letting two of the prisoners in jail go around and look at the other prisoners.
You're supposed to be a clever boy, Jerry.
Supposed to be? I am clever.
Then if you are, you should appreciate the opportunity of going through some of the laboratories and control chambers on the island, and perhaps observing something which will facilitate our ultimate plan of escape.
Hey, look, why don't you learn to talk English? All those big words are just a waste of time, and besides, I'm too busy for that.
You would find the larger words more expressive, Jerry, if you would only learn to employ them more frequently.
Okay, well, where do we start looking at all this stuff? We've been all over this island now, and I haven't seen anything but these little steel houses on top.
We are nearly to the general elevator shaft entrance. I will take you down into the subterranean observation chambers.
Well, take me where something makes a little noise, will you? This walking around on concrete that sounds like carpet is getting on my nerves.
There are not many places on the island where you will hear noise, Jerry. It is made silent deliberately and has proven the best method of protection yet discovered.
I don't see how.
Anything foreign to the island and its people, any boat, device, or method of communication which has any sound, is recorded instantly. While if there were local noises, it would be difficult to distinguish sounds emanating from an outside influence.
Never mind. I'll figure out the next one myself.
Here we are, Jerry.
Here we are where?
At the elevator entrance.
Well, maybe you're right. But I can't see anything except this little platform of steel on the floor of the island.
That is the elevator.
Gee whiz.
Cleostra at the main elevator shaft. Cleostra at the main elevator shaft.
Hey, what is this? Your name's Joan now. Cut out that Cleostra stuff.
I am called Cleostra here on Euclidia, and it is the only name they will ever recognize.
Oh, all right. But what was that hocus-pocus you started to recite?
When I identified myself, my voice was recorded in the main control chamber in the center of the island. One of the guards looked out to see if it was really I. Saw you with me, communicated with G47, secured his permission to allow you to enter, and started the machinery which is raising the top of the elevator shaft.
Oh, there wasn't time enough for all that to happen.
When you have been longer on Euclidia, you will learn the reason the Euclideans speak of time in seconds. Minutes are too long for the speed and accuracy of things on this island.
Everything on this island is nutty. Boy, look at that thing come up out of the island. It's pretty near as tall as we are now.
It will soon be ready to enter.
But say, when I ran after those fellows who went down inside the island when they thought someone was escaping, that was a regular building. It stuck up out of the island all the time. We didn't have to wait for it to grow like this thing is doing.
That was the elevator in the control chamber. Only the trusted members of the scientists group are allowed to use that.
Then why didn't they stop me when I tagged along with them?
Doubtless they thought you would foolishly say something or do something that would be of use to them. Remember, these men want very badly something that Captain Bradford, and only Captain Bradford, has.
Keep quiet. If they heard you asking for this elevator, they can hear all we can say now.
Certainly they can, but we will talk about nothing that is not already known. Now the chamber has stopped rising. We may enter.
Okay, but that wall looks kind of solid to me.
It is opening now.
How's that thing run? Compressed air?
No, Jerry. All elevators on the island are run and controlled by electromagnets.
Gee, a magnet strong enough to lift that elevator?
Were not the magnets strong enough to pull my mother's large yacht to the island?
That's right. Boy, what a place.
Now we will enter.
Hooray! Something makes noise. Boy, I'm going to stay in this elevator just so I can hear the noise of our feet.
Stop that, Jerry. The Euclideans will not like it. The vibrations will be so heavy they will overload the delicate recording instrument.
Anyhow, I found a place I can come to for a little noise when the quiet on the rest of this island drives me crazy.
Now we will descend. To what floor would you like to go?
Make it easy on yourself, kid.
Jerry, I do not know what you mean.
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was, it will be my pleasure to leave the choice of points of interest on this tour completely in your hands.
Why, Jerry, you can speak properly when you want to.
Oh, I can do a lot of things that I don't show off about all the time. Well, let's get going.
I think you would enjoy seeing the submarine locks. We will go down to the 5th level, 50 feet below the ceiling of the island. You may press the indicator button there, the numeral 5.
Okay, it's pushed. Boy, this is slick. The door is closing all by itself.
Nearly everything on the island is automatic.
Now we're starting down. This sure runs nice and smooth. What happened? We stopped.
Only for a moment. That is a check on the 10-foot level.
And that happens on every floor, every level?
On this elevator, yes. Some of the private elevators of the scientists and the escape elevators will drop rapidly and continuously. But this one...
That's the 2nd level, huh?
Yes. Now it will release again. You see? This elevator is made so it may only be run one floor at a time, as it is in general use by everyone on the island and can easily be stopped at each floor from the control chambers in the event of escape.
There it is again, the 3rd level now. But I don't see how all this is done by magnets. Of course, I can feel them take hold and then let go of the car. Like that one just then let go. But how do they pull it up and control it all by magnets?
They employ both types of electromagnets. The tractive is used to move the car through the shaft, and the portative to hold and release it at the various levels.
You sure learned a lot from these guys. Now we're at the 4th level. The next one will be ours, huh?
Yes, the car will automatically stop and the door open at the 5th level.
I wish Captain Bradford and your mother could see all this.
Oh, they will. I wanted them to come with us today, but Mother and the captain had something to work on in the chart room of the yacht, and I think they wanted to be alone while working it out.
Gee, we're at the 5th level now. And this is 50 feet below the top of the water? 50 feet below sea level?
Hardly that, Jerry. At high tide, the surface of the island is well above the water level. Remember that you stepped from the deck of the yacht directly onto the island pier.
Oh, sure, that's right. But we're 50 feet below the top of the island, and maybe 40 feet below water level?
That is right, Jerry. Now, when this door opens, I will take you on an inspection tour of the island submarine locks. This is the level at which they are anchored.
And you can get into the subs down here in more than 6 fathoms of water?
Naturally. G47 has always said it was very stupid to call a boat a submarine when it had to be loaded on the surface. These boats have never been on the surface.
Oh, where do they build them then?
On this level, you will see one under construction when we... Well, that is strange. The door should be opening now.
Well, maybe we're supposed to push something to make it open.
No, it will open automatically or not at all. I've never seen it take this long.
Something's wrong with it then. What'll happen if I try to open it?
Nothing. You will simply not be able to open it.
Well, I'm going to try anyhow. No, nothing doing. Well, this is your party. Where do we go from here?
It must be that something secret is being done on this level and the door checks are set. Push the indicators for one of the other levels. We will go there for the time.
Okay. I'll try number 6. There we are.
On the 6th level, you will see the... Jerry, something is very wrong here. The car does not move.
By Ginger, you're right. We're stuck. I guess their electricity has failed them.
Jerry, that thumping noise. This car is going to be held here.
What do you mean? What's that noise?
Those are the permanent magnets being set into place to hold this car. You can hear them taking hold.
What does that mean, Joan?
I'm afraid, Jerry. It may mean something terrible. There's an emergency of some kind. All the electrical energy is needed someplace on the island. That is why they're placing the permanent magnets to hold this car. So the electromagnets will not drain the current supply.
Well, what can we do? What can happen to us here?
I am not sure, though I think we are in no danger. But what is happening?
Well, whatever it is, I don't like it. I'm going to try pushing some of these buttons for the other levels.
Well, that will do no good, Jerry. I'm sure the current has been taken from the electromagnets. Yes. And it is being taken from the lighting system.
Golly whiskers. The light's going out. It's gone.
Oh, Jerry. What will happen now?
Now, don't act like a girl. We've got to... Hey, what's that noise?
Water. Water rushing around the elevator shaft. The submarine lock must have broken. Oh, Jerry. In this awful dark, with the water rushing around us, what will happen?
If this car is airtight, we'll be all right. I guess. There's that alarm gong again. What's that mean?
That is the submarine level emergency signal. Jerry, the lock must have broken. The ocean is flooding into this level. Oh, Jerry! Jerry!
Gee whiz, Joan. You act just like any other girl when something's gone wrong. You ought to know all about these things. Can't you do something to get us out of here?
No. The electricity is turned off. The car can't be moved. And if we could open the door, we would be drowned.
But somebody will come and get us out. They know we're in here.
Well, that would make no difference to the Euclideans. Their island comes first with them. And we will be looked for only after the damage is repaired and the instruments checked.
But, gee, we can't stay in here. This thing's airtight. I know it must be. And we'll run out of air to breathe pretty soon.
Yes. The air will be shut off. Oh, Jerry, I'm afraid. Listen. Listen to the water. The elevator shaft is shaking with it.
Yeah. It's getting kind of hard to breathe in here.
Oh, Jerry. Listen.
While waiting for darkness to cover the magic island of Euclidia, Jerry and Joan have gone on a tour of the island, leaving Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory on the captive yacht. Mrs. Gregory's daughter, Joan, who has spent nearly all of her 15 years on the island, has undertaken to show Jerry the submarine locks on the 5th level below the surface of the artificial island. They descend to the proper level in the magnetic elevator, but the door fails to open. Jerry and Joan are now badly frightened as they hear the rushing of water outside the elevator shaft. They've been there for some time, and the air in the elevator car is getting very bad.
Jerry, I can hardly breathe. What are we going to do?
Must be some way to to get air into this thing. These Euclideans are too smart not to figure on accidents in these elevators.
You're right, Jerry. There's an oxygen tank. Small valve. In the ceiling. I forgot.
Just like a girl. Where is it?
Feel around on the ceiling. Up there in the dark.
Yeah. Nope. Can't reach it. Not tall enough.
Then we're going to suffocate. Jerry, I can hardly breathe.
Wait a minute. I'll stand in the corner. Oh, the corner here. It's round. Maybe I can brace myself. Yeah. Now, I'll make a cradle of my hands. Feel around me. Can't you?
Yes, Jerry. I will. There, I feel your face.
Well, you can't stand on my face. Run your hands down my arms. Feel how I've got my hands fixed?
Yes, Jerry.
Then put your foot in my hands. Get your hands behind my head.
Yes.
Lift yourself up. Then take one hand loose. Feel around on the ceiling. If you grab a valve, turn it on.
I will try. There now. Hold me, Jerry.
Quit pulling my hair. I'll hold you. Hurry up. My chest hurts.
I think I have it, Jerry.
Then turn it on.
Oh, Jerry. I can feel it. The oxygen. Oh, it feels so good. It almost hurts.
Then get down. You must be breathing it all in up there. Jump down.
Yes, Jerry.
Oh, boy. That's good stuff. Gee, I'm going to carry a tank of that stuff with me after this. Whenever we go out sightseeing on this crazy island.
I've never known anything just like this to happen. One of the submarine locks must have broken and let the ocean flood in.
Plenty of pressure at 6 fathoms, too. Can they pump it out?
Oh, yes. The chambers are all made so they may be flooded deliberately, then pumped out.
What's that for?
In case of escape, the local prism reflectors in the control chambers will locate the escapers. Then the switches are thrown to close the automatic doors around the section they're trying to escape through. And the water turned on.
Golly whiskers. These guys are plenty mean, aren't they?
Yes, Jerry. No one can imagine the awful things on Euclidia.
Well, when we get rescued, Captain Bradford and your mother will know how to use all these slick inventions to do a lot of good back in our world.
Listen. The water has nearly stopped running around this elevator shaft.
I can't hear anything but a buzzing in my ears. It feels kind of funny and dizzy.
Oh, I forgot. The oxygen. We must turn it off again, Jerry. Too much is not good for us.
Okay. Get up on my hands again.
Yes, Jerry, I will.
Hey! You stuck your finger in my eye.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. I'll be glad when the lights come on in this thing. Now, up you go. Can you reach it?
Yes, I can feel it.
And shut it off.
That is done. My head feels queer, too.
Boy, you sure hit the floor hard. Hurt you?
No, but I'm... Listen.
Yeah, you can hear the pumps working. Sound like they're working mostly on air. The water must be all gone.
Then we shall soon be out of here.
Oh, boy. Here comes the light.
Yes, we can see now. Oh, this is much nicer.
I'll say it is. They sure built these elevators right anyway. Not a drop of water got in. Can we start this thing?
Not yet. When you hear the permanent magnets release the car and the portative magnets take hold, then we may safely actuate the control button.
Yeah, you're feeling better, all right. I can tell by the big words. When you were scared in the dark, you talked pretty near human. But now that everything's okay, you got to spout large language.
Now, Jerry, do not make fun of me. I was so...
Hey, Joan. Jiminy Crickets, Joan. Cut that out.
I cannot help it. I have never cried before. It feels so good.
Oh. Well, if that ain't just like a girl. It feels so good to cry. I'll bet you'll have a swell time at funerals. Oh, turn off the water. Golly whiskers, here. Take my handkerchief and wipe your eyes. And for the love of Pete, quit bawling.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, water outside the elevator, water inside the elevator. You women are all alike. You're mighty smart and brave till things get rough. Then we men have to step in and help you.
You're wonderful, Jerry.
I know it.
There go the magnets, Jerry.
I can hear them.
We'll soon be able to start the car.
Won't be any too soon for me.
There now. The pumps have stopped.
And the magnets have stopped clicking. Can we go now?
Yes. The door should open automatically, just as it would have when the car reached this level if the water had not flooded the chamber outside.
Well, if it ain't opening very fast, what can we do to hurry it?
Nothing. If it does not open automatically, someone is keeping it closed. That can be done from the control chambers.
Oh, what would they want to do that for?
Some important experiment must have failed, and G47 does not want anyone to see what happened.
G47's afraid to let anybody know he can make a mistake, huh?
I think that is it. We of Euclidia are allowed to see only perfect things. The scientists would have us think they never make a mistake.
Well, if we can't land here, let's go up to one of the other levels and look around there. Nothing's ever going to scare me after drowning like we did.
Oh, we did not drown, Jerry.
We thought we were going to, same thing. I'm going to push this button for the first level. If anything else goes wrong, I want to be near the top. Here it goes.
Oh, the car is actually ascending. Oh, I'm so happy.
Now cut that out. Don't you go blubbering again. There's the fourth level. We're up this far anyhow.
And we're going up smoothly now, Jerry. We will soon be out in the open air again.
Not until we look around on this first level, we won't. Hey, that's funny. The car didn't stop at the third level like it did at the others.
That means the third level is sealed off. Some secret work is going on there.
Same thing on the second level. You sure don't get to see much when you go on a sightseeing tour of this island.
Just be patient, Jerry. Before we leave the island, you will have seen nearly all of it. If we ever leave it.
There goes the first level. Guess we don't see anything.
Oh, I'm glad, Jerry. I want to get back to my mother's yacht and see Mother and the captain. I've been on this island nearly all my life, Jerry. I do not like it.
I guess you're right, Joan. This place hasn't been any fun for you. What's going on now?
Now this car has picked up the top of the elevator shaft housing. We're raising it above the ceiling of the island with us.
Well, if that door doesn't open automatically for us when we get all the way up, I'm going to find some way to break out of this car.
Now we're at the top. The door will open now.
Well, it better. Hey, listen. What's that noise?
Oh, that is rain, Jerry. It rains very hard here in Euclidia.
It's a wonder old G47 hasn't figured out a way to stop the rain. He's figured everything else.
Now, Jerry, the door is opening.
Yeah. Boy, and look at it rain. About as wet up here as it was down there. Well, come on, get ready to run for it.
Run where?
Well, to the Gregory yacht, of course. Where do you think? Boy, that rain's wet. Do we have to shut the door?
No, the door closes automatically. See, it is closing.
Come on, Joan. Hang on to my hand. We're going to get plenty wet, so don't take time to show me anything. And don't stop running till we get to the yacht. That was some sprint. You all right, Joan? Watch out now. The deck of this yacht is going to be slippery.
I'm so wet, Jerry.
Watch your step now. Now you run into your mother's cabin and get into some dry clothes.
Yes.
I'll go to the captain's cabin. Go on, scoot.
I'll hurry, Jerry.
Talk about rain. I'd better get inside myself. Sorry to bust in without knocking, Captain, but it's... Hey, Tex. Oh, nobody home, huh? Oh, I guess he's in the radio cabin or Mrs. Gregory's. Yeah?
Jerry, may I come in?
Yeah, come in.
Oh, Jerry.
Why didn't you change your clothes like I told you to?
Well, my mother is not in her cabin, Jerry, and I have no extra clothing of my own.
Oh, well, then I guess I'll have to give you some of mine. See, here's a good heavy sweater and a pair of pants. They'll keep you dry anyway.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. I'll go to my mother's cabin and put them...
Wait a minute. Something funny here.
Where, Jerry?
On this boat, I mean. Even if Mrs. Gregory and Tex were in the radio room, they'd hear us running and yelling around here, and they'd be worried about why we were gone so long. I wonder where they are.
Do you think something has happened to them?
Gosh, I'm afraid so. Come on. We'll try to find them.
Darkness has fallen on the magic island. Once more, the weird yellow glow of artificial daylight covers the scientific isle of Euclidia in the South Pacific Ocean. Joan Gregory and Jerry Hall returned hours ago to the captive Gregory yacht after a terrifying experience in one of the magnetic elevators, only to find Captain Tex Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are missing from the yacht. A note handed to Jerry by the skipper tells them that Mrs. Gregory and Tex are on a secret mission and to make no move until their return. All is silent on the island, while in the radio cabin of the yacht, Jerry and Joan listen to music from the radio and try to keep themselves cheered up as they wait anxiously for Mrs. Gregory and the captain.
I wish they would hurry, Jerry. I'm so worried.
Oh, cheer up, Joan. Tex can take care of your mother and himself, too.
I know Captain Bradford's a wonderful man, Jerry, and Mother thinks he can accomplish anything. But none of you realize fully the dangers on this horrible island.
Well, it won't help him any for us to run around yelling for him. Just sit still like this note said and listen to the music. Well, it's a good thing old G47 didn't stop our incoming radio beam anyway.
I like this music, Jerry. It's coming from one of your Hollywood radio stations, is it not?
Yeah, and those guys are real hillbillies, too.
What does it mean, this hillbilly? Are they all men from the hills? All with the name Williams?
Now, look, there's so many things you don't know that I don't know where to start teaching you. Do you like the music, or don't you?
Oh, yes, Jerry. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Well, then sit still and listen to it.
Stop it, Jerry. Stop that music.
Okay. There you are now. I'll hold it there, and you go ahead and talk while I listen to it.
No, stop it. Stop it, please, Jerry.
Okay. Hold everything.
Oh, I'm sorry to be so much trouble to you, Jerry, but I'm so nervous. And you also are nervous, Jerry.
Oh, nothing of the kind. I'm just as steady as a rock.
Then why are you chewing that lead pencil up?
Never mind me. You just sit still and quit worrying. They'll be along in a minute. I'd better leave this radio open on Johnson's wavelength, I guess.
Jerry, do you know all about my mother and Captain Bradford? I mean about all the mysterious things they do all over the world, and how they can have ships belonging to many countries helping them. So many things. Do you know about that, Jerry?
No, and Mrs. Gregory made me promise I wouldn't ask her any more about it. But we'll find out someday. Hey, now where are you going?
I was just going to look out over the island and see if...
No, you're not. Get away from that door. Now, what did I tell you? Didn't it say in the note for us to act just as if your mother and the captain were here on the yacht with us?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry, but I get so worried.
Well, so do I. But you'll get over there. Get over there and sit down. Go on, I said. Sit down.
Why, Jerry, you're wonderful when you speak like that. So commanding and masterful.
Oh, all us men are like that. We don't expect much from you women. And, of course, I'm 16 and you're only 15. Makes a lot of difference.
Oh, I'm sure it does, Jerry.
I wish they'd hurry, though. That yellow light is all over the island. And if they haven't got any of those strict glasses, they might get lost.
I think they would not be allowed to have the glasses, but they should be able to find their way back to the glare of the yacht light.
Hey, quiet. Listen.
Why, what is it?
Shh. Quiet, I said. Listen.
Someone's coming along the deck.
Sit still. We don't want to act too anxious.
Oh, Mother.
Joan, my dear.
Boy, am I glad to see you folks.
Sorry to leave you kids like that, but we had to get something done quick.
And Tex thought that if you didn't know anything about it, you wouldn't be subject to any danger over the idea.
Oh, Jerry and I had a terrible experience in one of the magnetic elevators.
Yeah, and Joan acted just like a girl. Started right in to cry.
Well, Jerry, you can't expect us women to be as brave as you men.
No, I guess I shouldn't. Well, Tex, did you get some plan of escape figured out?
I hope so. Pat and I took a long chance getting this thing. Is the cabin all tight?
Jerry and I have inspected the opaque cloth covering since the rain. The cabin is quite safe, Captain.
Good girl, Joan. Well, here's what we've got.
What's that? Looks like a pocket fire extinguisher.
That is one of the small oxygen tanks these scientists have equipped in nearly every room on the island.
I have never been allowed to touch one of those, Captain. Did G47 give it to you?
Not exactly.
Gee, you swiped it.
I'm afraid we did, Jerry. I don't approve of taking anyone else's property, but this means our chance to escape from the island, possibly our lives. So we took it.
But when the loss is discovered, G47 will be very angry.
That's why we've got to work fast. I knew they couldn't see me carrying this thing. I had it inside this coat of opaque cloth, but they'll soon discover it's gone.
I'll help you, Tex. What do you want to do?
Tell you in a minute, kid. First, I want to get Joan and Pat started on my celluloid diving suit. You three wait here while I go to my cabin and get it. I'll spring the lock on this door. Don't open for anyone but me.
You look so excited, Mother. Has the captain a good plan?
Yes, dear. Tex has a very fine plan. Not for our immediate escape, but for getting a message to Johnson so that he may arrange our rescue.
I know what it is. He's going to use that celluloid diving suit with this little oxygen tank inside of it to get through the ring of gas in the fog.
Yes, Jerry. The captain is going to try to swim out through that fog ring tonight. And he's going to put one of those homing pigeons inside the suit with him. Then he'll release it when he's safely outside the ring.
That is wonderful, Mother. And it may work if there's nothing metallic on the captain's clothing.
Yeah, say, that oxygen tank might set off the alarm.
That's taken care of. While you and Joan were gone, I helped the captain cement a lining of the opaque cloth into his celluloid diving suit and his swimming suit. The magnetism won't affect anything inside that cloth.
I think, Mother, that you and Captain Bedford are almost as clever as G47 and his scientists.
What do you mean, almost? Tex has got those Euclideans beat.
Okay, Jerry.
I'll let him in.
Now, we'll have to work fast. I put my swimming suit under this robe, so it won't take long to get ready.
Good.
Jerry, go up in front and get the other pigeon. Hide him under your coat as you did before and take your time.
Okay, Tex. I'll be careful not to be seen.
Now, Pat, if you and Joan will help me get into this thing.
What a peculiar garment, Captain.
It's airtight and opaque. That's all we need.
J12C to J24Y. Johnson to Bradford. Message for you.
Quiet for this.
Have had no word for you for hours. Transmission conditions perfect here in Los Angeles. Cannot understand why storm north of you should prevent reception by stations east of you. Latest report picked up from oil tanker at 24 degrees south. Says electrical disturbances south of them. Can you hear me, J24Y? If no answer, we'll repeat every quarter hour. That is all. Johnson.
Then there's no hope for the pigeon to reach him. He's gone back to Los Angeles.
Don't worry, Joan. That was all in code. Johnson is really standing by at latitude 24 south right now.
Yes, dear. And when he said he'd received a message from an oil tanker, it meant he had contacted an oil tanker and was refueled. So now he's ready for anything necessary to help us.
You have some clever and loyal friends, Mother. Will you tell me someday
Yes,
just
Joan.
how...
Someday I'll tell you all about Tex and myself and how we're able to do so many things. But now...
It's me.
I'll let him in.
I got him all right, and nobody saw me.
Good boy. Now I'll tie this message to his leg, and you can help Pat and Joan cement me up in this thing with the oxygen tank and the pigeon inside on my back. Then when I get well beyond the fog and gas rings, I'll rip his celluloid shirt off and turn the pigeon loose.
But how are you going to get back through the gas ring? You're going to ruin that suit taking the pigeon out of it.
That worries me, Jerry. Tex thinks he can hold his breath long enough to swim through the gas ring coming back. But I'm afraid. Oh, Tex, if anything should happen to you...
Oh, forget it, Pat. I'll make it. Now, the pigeon is ready. Open the tank so it barely releases the oxygen, Jerry. Joan, you help Pat cement this thing around my waist. Then you can slip the tank and the pigeon down my back and cement the helmet on.
That's about as little as I can let out of the tank and be sure it'll be continuous, Tex.
Thanks, Jerry. Now, stick the tank down my back so it lays flat along the bulge where this thing is cemented to my swimming belt.
Coming up. Say, that's just going to fit in there.
Here's the pigeon, Tex. You're sure it won't get crushed?
No, there's plenty of space inside this stiff celluloid thing to give the pigeon room. Now, let him down in there easy now.
Little bird isn't a bit frightened, is it, Mother?
We've always been kind to it. It trusts us to continue being kind.
Here's your helmet, Tex.
Just a second. Now, last-minute instructions. I can't talk when that is on. Now, when you cement it all around my shoulders, you, Jerry, walk out on deck with me. Walk between me and the island. I'll have this robe of the island cloth over my head and shoulders. We'll both go to the engineer's quarters. You'll have to stay there till I get back.
But, Tex, how will we know if you get...
If I get into the water and start swimming out without being seen, it's all over but the shouting. So I'll have Jerry get the engineer to make 8 bells for you as soon as I disappear in the water. Okay, put it on.
Let's hold this edge here, Jerry. And you hold that down, Joan. Now hold it tight.
Yes, Mother.
Very tight and smooth while I put the cement around it. Little... There, now hurry now. The cement will dry as you walk the deck, and I'm afraid something will happen any minute. Goodbye, dear, and good luck.
Bye, dear.
All clear, Mrs. Gregory. Throw that robe over his head.
All right, wait a minute. There.
I'll take his arm. Now, we're all set. See you later.
Oh, Mother, it's so wonderful of the captain to think of that.
Yes, dear. And it's so brave of him to attempt it. Oh, I hope we've fixed everything all right.
It seemed all right, and the oxygen tank will last a long time at the rate it was discharging.
I wonder how long it will take him. He said the engineer would make 8 bells for us when he's safely in the water.
It's only a few seconds until 8 o'clock now, Mother, so no one will notice anything out of the ordinary in the bells.
Yes, Tex figured on that, or he wouldn't have used it for a signal.
Isn't it about time now, Mother?
It shouldn't be long. The engineer was expecting him. Had the hatch open. He could get into the water noiselessly from there.
And if the pigeon gets away successfully, will it be sure of reaching Johnson's boat?
Easily, Joan. According to the position Johnson gave, he's only 5 degrees north of us, or about 345 miles.
Mother, the signal.
Yes, dear. Tex is gone. He's out in the water, swimming through that gas. Oh, Tex.
The magic island is going to be submerged. The Gregory yacht is slowly sinking below the surface of the island as the water is pumped out of the lock in which the yacht has been held. G-47 has just left the radio cabin after assuring Mrs. Gregory and Jerry and Joan that they were quite safe on board the yacht. Captain Tex Bradford left half an hour ago to swim outside the rings of fog and gas surrounding the island and release a pigeon to Johnson's boat. The yacht is ready to be drawn into the island's submarine lock. The giant pumps have lowered the water in the lock to the level of that within the island, and the boat rides easily. But in the radio cabin, Mrs. Gregory, Joan, and Jerry are terrified.
I'm going out on that deck, Jerry. Orders or no orders, I'm going out there.
But, Mother, Captain Bradford said you were not to do that.
Oh, might as well go now, I guess. We didn't fool anybody.
You think G-47 knew Tex was out there swimming when he came into the cabin just now?
Yes, Mother. G-47 was smiling and quite pleased with himself. And when he looks and acts like that, it is only because he has done something particularly mean or terrible to someone.
That's what I thought, too. When the old guy said we needn't worry if we were all on board, he knew we weren't all on board. So we might as well go out on deck and watch how this thing is done.
G-47 must have known we would be going out. He didn't even close the door.
G-47 knows nearly everything that everyone is going to do, almost before they know it themselves.
But if Tex is out there somewhere, swimming beyond the end of the pier, he'll be helpless. What can we do about it?
Nothing right now. But Tex has probably got some ideas of his own, and I'll bet this island don't do any sinking without his getting on it.
But that would do him no good, Jerry. If he were not admitted to one of the chambers, He would only drown when the island was completely submerged.
Oh, I can't stand this any longer. Come on, I'm going out on deck.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, look at that. Why, we're way below the top of the island.
Yes, Jerry. This lock between the piers is like a great steel aqueduct. Are these piers solid to the ocean floor, Joan?
Oh, no, Mother. Only to the 5th level. And only 2 of them have locks between them as this one has. So the water may be pumped out. The false bottom is steel. From the 5th to the 10th level, the main part of the island is round and smooth, so that it may all be submerged.
You really mean the whole island will go down till the top of it is 40 or 50 feet below the ocean?
Yes. Large ships pass over it easily, and the island is so smooth and tapering toward the top and center that when a ship tries to anchor here, the anchor merely slides over the top of the island.
Gee whiz.
And we can do nothing. Just stand here and wait until we're taken into that lock.
Hey, listen. The pumps have stopped. We must be down.
Yes, Jerry. The water in this lock is now at the level of the water in the lock inside the island. The gate will open into the island now.
There is a lock gate in that smooth wall ahead?
Yes, Mother. See, it is opening now.
Golly. It's opening just as easy and as quiet as everything else on this island works. Not a sound from it.
No, but for the water rushing through it to even up the levels, we shouldn't have noticed it. And how light it is back in there.
The Euclideans use a great deal of light where it will not be seen from outside. All the subterranean chambers are brilliantly lighted.
We're moving. The boat's starting to slide into the lock. Are we being pulled by magnets, Joan?
Yes. The floor of this lock is covered with a series of magnets. The boat is perfectly controlled.
But from where? I see no one. Not even on that ramp along the inside of the lock.
It is all controlled from the central chambers. The position of the boat is clearly indicated by the action of the magnets.
Boy, what a place this is.
And when we are inside, what can we do then?
Hey, wait a minute. The mast is sitting at the top of the lock. It's going to crack.
Well, can't we stop it? I'll gladly unset the mast rather than break it. No, Mother, there's no time. The yacht is being put in here because of some emergency. They will just break the mast off. It has happened to other boats here.
Gee, there goes the radio spars. Now we haven't much of an area left.
The mast is nearly broken now. I hope the strain doesn't start the seams in the hull.
Will we be safe standing here?
Sure we will. Those deck plates will hold all right. The whole thing's going to fall on the after cabin there.
Oh, there it goes.
Look out for flying splinters. Gee, that's too bad, Mrs. Gregory. It did a lot of damage.
Oh, Mother, your beautiful boat.
Oh, never mind that. I can get another boat, but... Tex.
Quiet, Mrs. Gregory.
Mother, you must be careful.
I know, and I suppose G47 can hear all we say, but I've reached the point where I don't care. Tex is out there somewhere, and nothing else matters to me.
It all seems so hopeless, doesn't it? And you love the captain so dearly. I'm very sad for you, Mother.
Oh, me too, Mrs. Gregory. But don't give up hope. Tex is a smart guy. Don't tell him what he's done.
You're just saying that to cheer me up, Jerry. You know there isn't one chance in a million Tex could be safe.
Well, I got a hunch. And when I get a hunch, everything's going to come out slick.
Look, Mother. The stern of the boat is nearly inside the lock now.
Yes, dear. And soon the gate will close, and Tex will be outside in the water. He can't swim forever. So many things might have happened to him.
Take it easy. Please, Mrs. Gregory. You're so swell, and I'm so sorry for you. Well, I could bust right out and bawl like a girl, but it wouldn't do any good.
Oh, you're right, Jerry. You're a sweet boy. Tex would want me to keep my chin up.
Why do you say that, Mother? Keep your chin up. Your chin has not fallen down.
Oh, Joan, my dear, you and Jerry would almost make anything possible.
We're pretty swell, ain't we?
Jerry, I have told you that ain't is not correct.
Well, I know it ain't.
Then why do you insist on saying it?
Yeah, the gate's closing. The yacht's inside. And out there in that cold water, in the dark.
Now, steady, Mrs. Gregory. Don't say any more now. Someone is coming along this ramp, coming toward us. Not a word about how we really feel. You too, Joan. Keep a stiff upper lip.
But how will it help anyone for me to keep my upper lip stiff?
Oh, forget it. Just say nothing. Let me do the talking.
I think you might well be trusted to do it better than the rest of us, Jerry. Yes, someone is coming and making no sound, of course.
It is G47, and that is very strange.
Why do you say that, Joan?
That's what I'd like to know. I don't think anything that guy does is strange anymore.
It is strange that G47 would come down into the submarine locks. He always stays in the main control chamber when submerging and leaves these locks to his assistants.
He's certainly looking the yacht over carefully.
I wonder what he wants. We should come over here and get it over with. That guy makes me feel like I had some porcupine soup with the needles in it.
I do not understand what you
Never
mean.
mind, Jerry, dear. Hush now. Here he comes.
Hey there, G47. What's the idea of breaking up Mrs. Gregory's boat?
You will make him angry, Jerry.
I don't want him to think we're worried about anything else.
I must say that you've treated us rather roughly. Might we inquire, G47, what caused the sudden decision to run us into this lock?
You might, and you have. A little later, you will witness an interesting demonstration. If you care to come to the neptoscope control chamber, you will see... No. I shall not tell you. It will be more pleasant to surprise you.
We will be glad to come and witness any demonstration you care to give us.
Sure. Want us to come right now?
I think not until we are submerged. Is that not so, G47?
Precisely, Cleostra. It will have no value until we are submerged. You will bring the dear captain, of course?
Why, yes, of course.
Yeah, sure. We'll bring him, if he wants to come.
I feel reasonably certain Captain Bradford would be very happy indeed to have the opportunity of witnessing the demonstration from within the island. You will be notified when to appear. Then you may tell the captain if you can find him.
Gee, he's gone. Right through that wall.
Yes, Jerry. There are many automatic doors along the walls of these locks. There is nothing about it that cannot be explained, although if you were not watching closely...
Yes, Joan, dear, but never mind that now. Did you hear what G47 said? We might bring the captain if we could find him. He knows Tex isn't aboard. He knows we can't find him. He's taunting us. Tex is lost, do you
Here now,
hear?
Mrs. Gregory. You've got to quit that. Come on, in the cabin.
Yes, Mother. Someone will be watching us, and we must not let them see how we feel.
You take your mother's arm on that side, Joan.
Yes.
I'll open the door when we get to it.
No, Jerry. I'm going to stay right out on this deck. Stay where I can see, where I can watch for Tex.
But there is nothing to see, Mother. We are inside the lock. Walls of steel all about us. We could see nothing, not even the water of the ocean.
Oh, of course, Joan, you're right, but I feel so helpless.
Just a minute, Mrs. Gregory, and we'll be fixed up all nice inside the cabin. Then we can plan quietly what we can try to do, and you'll feel better. Here we go now. Go right in, Mrs. Gregory.
Come, Mother.
Yes, dear, yes, I'm all right.
Now, just a second, and I'll find the light switch.
Strange, Jerry. We left the lights on when we went out of the cabin.
So we did, Mother.
Yeah, that's right. I guess that falling mast must have put them out.
I put them out.
Hey,
The
where?
captain.
Oh.
Yes, I put the lights out just as the mast fell. So G47 would think the falling mast had wrecked the wiring, and I could move in here unnoticed.
Oh, Tex. Tex, dear.
There, now, Pat. Don't cry, darling.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I have found the light switch.
Well, don't turn them on yet.
Why not, Jerry?
Oh, just because.
But why not, Jerry? I will turn them on. Oh, Mother.
Oh, boy.
No, Jerry, no. Joan did perfectly right in turning on the lights.
Yes, dear, you did quite right.
Well, anyhow, I think they ought to be off on account of G47 seen in here. He thinks you're drowned, Tex, or still trying to swim around out there.
Well, this cloth will keep anyone from seeing in here. And I've got to tell you the news.
Yes, Tex, what happened? You can see what happened to us.
You know why the yacht has been pulled into this lock? Why the island is going to submerge?
Yes, but one thing at a time. In the first place, the pigeon got away safely. And he's been gone nearly an hour now. That means he's 30 or 40 miles from here on his way to Johnson's boat.
That's wonderful, Tex. And he ought to make it all right.
Gee, that's swell, sir. You did a slick job of it.
But Captain Bradford, G47 knows you were swimming around out there. He must know it. And he would also know that you had released the other pigeon.
Yes, that's true. And they'll send airplanes or ray guns or something out to fly the pigeon down or kill it.
No, G47 doesn't dare send out a plane or a submarine or anything else.
Why not?
I see no reason,
Because
Captain, why...
there's a large fleet of battleships coming. I heard guards talking on the pier about it. Some large fleet converging on this position to hold battle practice. And the island has to submerge.
Then they can't do anything to stop the pigeon?
Not a thing, son. That pigeon will get to Johnson's boat.